on your side. NBC12 News starts with breaking news.
That local breaking news is out of Chesterfield, where a lane on Route 288 North remains closed after this brush fire. Crews got a call around 11 a.m. near Iron Bridge and White Pine Roads. That's right by the Chesterfield County Airport. We know the fire burned about 20 acres, but is now under control. This is what the scene looked like earlier today as crews tried to control those flames. Smoke covered the sky and debris was flying in the air. The smoke was so thick that you could barely make out the police and fire crews standing in that road. Thankfully, no one was hurt. And remember, when breaking news is happening, make sure you have our NBC12 News app. We want to share what you're seeing there on the ground. You can send us video and pictures through Send It to 12 on the NBC12 Breaking News app. Well, it was certainly a violent start to the weekend in Richmond. 7 people were shot early this morning in separate incidences. The uptick in shootings is why a small group gathered today for a Stop the Violence event to raise the awareness about the impact of these shootings and what they're doing to our community. AJ Nwoko attended that meeting and has the latest.
Different speakers who were the victims of gun violence, domestic violence, and even sex trafficking gave their stories of survival in hopes that by talking more about it, they can affect a lasting change in their communities all over, but especially here in Richmond.
I have a news alert set on my email, and I get news about shootings that happen in Hopewell, in Petersburg, and in Richmond.
It's a tragic reality that those who gathered at Elliott's Soul Food Spot in Henrico are tired of facing. Richmond police responded to 7 reported shootings in the city Saturday morning. On Midlothian Turnpike, 4 people drove themselves to the hospital, each suffering from gunshot wounds. Another shooting on South 20th Street sent a man to the hospital, and across the city, a man is suffering from a life-threatening gunshot wound after a shooting on the corner of 3rd and Custer. News like this is why organizers Tanya Williams and Elliot Cox, along with support from Mothers Demand Action, say they have to act.
Everyone wants to remain in the house and not say anything. It's very important that we all come together to try to stop the gun violence in our communities.
They brought in survivors of gun violence, domestic violence, and sex trafficking for Saturday's Stop the Violence event.
My wife was a victim of sex trafficking, so let me make this very clear. Her domestic abuser released her into sex trafficking, where a gun was put to her head and she was forced to be a prostitute for almost a year.
Each gave their testimonies.
I thank God that I'm a survivor, but there's not too many people that have survived these things.
They hope that by speaking out about the reality of gun violence and those people it affects, eventually communities and their leaders will step up to make long-lasting change to prevent this violence from happening again. This group says they plan on having more meetings like these in the future. On your side, AJ Nwoko, NBC12 News.
Thank you, AJ. Well, Richmond police have identified the man shot and killed in Mosby Court last night. Officers found 28-year-old Cortez Wright in the 1900 block of Red Street just before 8 p.m. He died at the scene. Now, police haven't released any suspect information, but they do believe several people were in that area at the time. If you know anything, give Crime Stoppers a call at 780-1000. It is always anonymous. Well, tonight, millionaire and accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein is dead from what officials say was a suicide. Now, we're told he was found hanging in his New York City jail cell this morning, where he was being held on federal sex trafficking charges. Chris Pallone has more.
The Justice Department says financier and friend to the rich and powerful Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in his Manhattan jail cell Saturday morning. Epstein was a convicted sex offender who was being held on federal child sex trafficking charges after being arrested last month. His indictment alleged Epstein recruited girls as young as 14 for sex. Epstein's death comes just a couple weeks after he was discovered injured in his cell. He was put on suicide watch after that incident, but sources tell NBC News Epstein was not on suicide watch at the time of his apparent hanging Saturday morning. It's unclear why. Now, 2 federal agencies are investigating.
It's hard to understand how this could have happened.
Attorney General William Barr said he was appalled to hear of Epstein's death, and Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse said heads must roll after the Justice Department failed to keep Epstein safe until his trial. Also outraged, Epstein's accusers.
He brought me up to the upstairs room, which had the massage room.
Jennifer Arose accused Epstein of raping her when she was 15. She said in a statement, while Epstein is gone, justice must still be served. a sentiment echoed by attorneys for more of Epstein's alleged victims.
We are not giving up. He is not going to escape justice, even in death. And those who enabled him certainly are not going to escape justice.
The U.S. Attorney in Manhattan says the investigation into Epstein's conduct and the conspiracy he was accused of taking part in continues. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Turning now to Richmond, police are looking for the driver who they say hit a runner and then kept going. It happened just before 9 a.m. this morning on West Broad Street near Harrison Street, right by VCU. Thankfully, that jogger is expected to survive. Police say the vehicle hit the victim, may be a small black sedan. Anyone who may have seen anything is asked to call Richmond police. And we now know the victim, who was badly injured during an assault at a Chesterfield office building, is an attorney. We first told you about that altercation Thursday, live at 5. Officers found a man on the floor of a building on Krause Road with life-threatening injuries to his face. That man is now in critical but stable condition. Police still do not have a suspect. They're asking anyone with information to call Crime Solvers at 748-0660. Well, the Coast Guard and Virginia Beach Police have now suspended their search for a missing swimmer. We're told witnesses alerted the Coast Guard after a woman went into the water around 3:45 this morning and never returned to shore. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt and jean shorts. Crews called off the search just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. It is in full effect right now. The Richmond Jazz Festival at Maymont in full swing. We've got team coverage tonight. We'll check in live with Olivia Eugenio at Maymont in just a moment. But first, for fans attending the festival this weekend, weather specialist Nick Russo is tracking our forecast. Nick, how's it looking for tonight?
Kelly, it's looking great for anyone getting out to the music festival. Clear skies, dry weather expected through the evening in Richmond as we drop back from the mid-80s into the lower 80s by 8 p.m., mid-70s by 10 p.m. Really comfortable for this time of the year outside with low humidity and temperatures not all that bad. On first alert Doppler radar, it is quiet for the Richmond and Petersburg area, but we just have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, believe it or not, to the west of Farmville with this little thunderstorm that developed right near Pamplin City. That will continue to move off to the south and east. So if you're in southern parts of Prince Edward County, you may see a quick passing thunderstorm here in the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. As we go farther off to the south and west, this was a severe thunderstorm earlier. Now it's just a downpour moving through Halifax County, and that could eventually make its way over toward Mecklenburg County or Lunenburg County in the next couple of hours. But for the most part, we should stay nice and dry this evening. Temperature is sitting in the lower 80s right now in Richmond at 82, 83 Petersburg, and we're at 81 in Chesterfield. Coming up in a few minutes in your first alert forecast, we're going to take a look at a big time warm up ahead as we get into the start of the work week, how hot it gets, and when the next chance for showers and storms returns in a few minutes. Kelly?
All right, thanks, Nick. Well, after 2 incredible days of performances, the Jazz Fest has some more big acts taking the stage tonight. One of my favorites, Jill Scott, will be headlining in just a couple hours. Maybe I can sneak out of the station and find Olivia Eugenio down there at Maymont. Olivia, how's it going out there?
Yeah, guys, there are just a ton of people here, and throughout the day we've seen lots of foot tapping, lots of people dancing in their seats, you know, having a lot of fun. But take a look at the crowd right now. They're kind of just relaxed, waiting for the next act to come on. That'll be coming on in under 10 minutes. But this weather has definitely helped. It was sunny throughout the day. It's just started to cool down here perfectly, and there hasn't been any rain, so knock on wood, it stays that way. But if you do decide to come here to Maymont, you can see everything from jazz giants to R&B and pop legends. The options are just endless. There are 3 stages. They're all going at once for lots of choices. And we've had the chance to speak with people here. They have just loved the diversity in music, saying the influence on jazz spans all communities.
Because jazz have been around for such a long time, and it's all type of jazz, like R&B jazz, it's rhythm and blues jazz. So that's why we have such a large crowd every summer in August.
And there is still a lot of music left to be heard here. The night ending with Jill Scott at 9 o'clock on the Virginia is for Lovers stage. That's the stage right behind me. And if you do want to come here tonight, you can't buy your tickets online. You have to buy them here at Maymont. And if you have any questions or you want to see a full schedule, you can head to our website. It's NBC12.com or go to the NBC12 News app. But for now, live on your side at Maymont, Olivia Eugenio, NBC12 News.
All right, thanks, Olivia. Well, enjoy yourself there as the evening continues. The festival is still happening all day tomorrow with even more stars taking the mic. We've got the full list of performers and details on 12abouttown.com. Well, students in Richmond are getting the supplies they need to start the new school year for free. Northside Coalition for Children held its annual citywide back to school rally today. The nonprofit's goal is to give free supplies to any kid who attends RPS. It was a packed house at Celebration Church on Midlothian Turnpike as parents and their children stocked up. But the event wasn't just for students. Teachers also got a whole lot of what they needed.
We have opened our hearts to service anybody that needs it. And you don't have to be in need. You don't have to, feel like, well, I don't need it. I want teachers to come and get the supplies they need so they can be successful.
Now, this was the 11th year for the event. Organizers say they handed out about $8,000 to $10,000 worth of donated supplies. And as the school year approaches, we hope that you'll help NBC12 with our ultimate backpack drive. The goal is to fill 15,000 backpacks full of supplies. The drive is next Wednesday, August 14th from 3 to 8 p.m. at Hardywood Brewery on Ownby Lane. Now, we've got a full list of supplies needed on the NBC12 News app. Well, dangerous mudslides are impacting a popular tourist destination in Utah. Wait till you see this. 9 different mudslides are shutting down roads and cutting off access to a popular canyon there. We'll show you some new video of what those visitors are dealing with. Plus, a 6-year-old girl in Virginia battling leukemia is beating the odds. Her remarkable recovery after 236 days in the hospital is next. More than 100 people took to the streets of El Paso today, denouncing racism and calling for stronger gun laws. The March for United America comes 1 week after the deadly mass shooting there at a Walmart, a gunman killing 22 people, authorities say targeting Mexicans. Demonstrators dressed in white to symbolize peace and carried 22 wooden white crosses representing the victims.
The shooting was more than just another massacre due to irresponsible gun reform, but I feel like it was just a big dent in our community as a whole. We took a major hit as a family.
Texas U.S. Congressman and Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke also took part in today's march. A 23-year-old man in Las Vegas is behind bars after the FBI says it thwarted his planned hate crime attacks. Police say Connor Klima wanted to firebomb a local synagogue and an LGBTQ bar. Now, this is video of Klima from 2016 when he made news showing his intention to patrol a neighborhood with a military-style rifle and a long knife. Now, prosecutors say Klima was connected to white supremacists through encrypted online conversations and told an FBI informant that he wanted to attack. He's charged with possession of illegal firearms and destructive devices. A New York firefighter is being called a hero after rescuing a 4-year-old left in a hot car. Police say a man left his son in the car while he went inside a Target. Bystanders noticed the boy inside sweating and screaming. A New York firefighter who happened to be nearby grabbed a hammer and broke the window to save that boy. He's expected to survive, thankfully. 42-year-old Jeremy Ram eventually returned to the car and was arrested by police. Well, caught on camera, mudslides close a popular canyon in Utah. Take a look. You could see rushing water and mud covering half a road there near Little Cotton Canyon, about 30 minutes from Salt Lake City. 9 different mudslides were reported Friday, one reaching 15 feet deep. Crews worked throughout the day, both yesterday and today, to clean up that mess. The road finally reopened. Imagine driving up on that. A momentous achievement for one very resilient 6-year-old girl from Northern Virginia. She walked out of the hospital after less than a year of leukemia treatment. And as Julie Carey from our sister station reports, this spunky little patient is leaving behind a powerful impact with the staff she bonded with.
Poppy Sellier looks right at home at Inova Children's Hospital, but that's because it's pretty much been her home for the last 8 months. She was 5 when she came here last December 19th with flu-like symptoms and was diagnosed with a form of leukemia known as AML. She remembers what it was like at first.
It kind of was scary.
Enter Holly Sen, a child life specialist. Her role to help lift the fear and manage the many difficult treatments.
One of the biggest things that we did early on is I worked with her and taught her how to swallow pills, and that was life-changing.
It wasn't too long before Poppy began to feel a bit better. This has been home away from home for her parents, too. They take turns sleeping in her room, bringing her siblings to visit.
You come to the hospital expecting to be cared for, not necessarily thinking you're going to be loved. They have shown her a tremendous amount of love, and our whole family.
And Poppy has shown love for the staff. They have T-shirts with her name, socks with her picture. She's known to pull around a red wagon full of new toys for the other kids. But the most important moment of the last 8 months, this one today.
But we want you to go ahead and ring that bell because I know you want to. Ring it, girl.
Ring it.
Ring it.
Ringing out, it's called, signifying it's time to leave the hospital behind, to get back to the bedroom she shares with a sister, to soon rejoin her classmates, now in first grade.
It's kind of the end of this chapter, and it's not going to be completely behind us, but it means looking forward and, you know, hope for the future, for things to get back to normal.
This is how Poppy said goodbye.
I love you guys a lot, like all the way to the moon. I'll be back, but just to visit, so I'll see you real soon.
In Fairfax County, I'm Julie Carey.
Such a brave girl. Well, turning now to Chesterfield County Animal Services, they're hoping someone will take in a very dynamic duo. This is brother and sister Yin and Yang. Now, Yin is the black female and Yang is her brother. The sibling kitties both had to have one of their eyes removed. The shelter says they are bonded and need to be adopted out together and live in the same loving forever home. Now, while the cats have fewer eyes than normal, they help each other out, but they also have more toes than usual. That's because Yang is polydactyl. How do you like that?
Accurate, reliable, breaking weather specialists. This is NBC12 First Alert Weather.
On First Alert Doppler radar for your Saturday evening, most of us nice and dry, but we are tracking one lone thunderstorm now in parts of western Prince Edward County where there is a severe thunderstorm warning. That warning does not actually include Prince Edward County. It's just off to the west, but this storm is packing some strong gusty winds and some downpours as it moves off to the south and east. It'll be near Darlington Heights around 725 and Triumph Church around 726 as it moves off to the south and east. But here in Richmond, if you have any plans this evening, you're looking nice and dry. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures right now sitting in the low 80s. We're at 82 degrees at the airport with a mostly sunny sky. Dew point not all that bad. Lower 60s. It is fairly comfortable outside. In fact, for this time of the year, it's really fantastic. Checking out our JES WeatherNet sites. In Goochland, the Bird Elementary School, we're at 80 degrees, 83 in the west end, out toward Henrico County at St. Christopher's School, and at Cherokee Road at Trinity Episcopal School, it's 80 degrees right now. Our temperatures for the next 5 hours will drop back into the mid-70s by 10 p.m. Of course, you can always find the latest interactive radar and temperatures on the NBC12 First Alert Weather app, with temperatures down in the lower 70s by midnight, 65 for an overnight low, partly cloudy skies for tonight, and that gives way to a beautiful day on Sunday. The next big thing we're tracking is more sun for the second half of the weekend. Your hour-by-hour dog walking forecast tomorrow. Take Fido for a nice long walk. Temperatures climb into the mid-80s, but not too terribly hot on Sunday. That will start to change as we get toward the start of next week. And your hour-by-hour fishing forecast, great for that as well. Wind's going to be light out of the northeast. You'll barely notice that breeze at 5 miles per hour. 73 at 9 a.m., back into the mid-80s for the afternoon, but sun the entire day. Looks like a great day to get outside on Sunday. And your First Alert 7-day forecast does show increasing temperatures, especially as we get toward Tuesday. After being in the 80s on Sunday, we'll be in the lower 90s Monday. And look at Tuesday, 97 for a forecast high. The heat index likely going to be above 100. That's what it feels like as you step outside. For Wednesday, temperatures still in the lower 90s, but a pretty good chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms Wednesday, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Keep that in mind. That's probably our best chance for rain for the next 7 days. Back into the upper 80s toward the end of the week, especially toward next weekend, still in the mid 80s. We'll have more news and sports coming up.
For the first time in 25 years, a Virginia team is headed to the Little League World Series. Loudon South Little League just defeated a team from Georgia to advance to the big tournament. The last time a Virginia team made it was in 1994. The team's coach says this journey is a bit surreal.
I'm excited for the kids. I'm just thrilled for them that they're going to get an experience that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Now the team plays their first Little League World Series game next Thursday in Pennsylvania. Good luck, guys. The Flying Squirrels are playing a doubleheader at the Diamond right now. They're taking on the Bowie Bay Sox. The game started at 5. Last check, the score was 1-0 Bowie. The Squirrels still have time to catch up. We'll have an update tonight at 11. That's sports. We'll be right back. Well, that does it for us at 7. We'll be back at 11 with more news, weather, and sports. Have a great night.